everyone. Thank you again for joining us on our Thursday edition of Game Changers. We've been doing Thursday events for those of you who've been watching with the top agents from all across the country. We've had some wonderful content, wonderful advice for all of our watchers out there, all of our viewers. We have a great lineup today again, coast to coast, but really 3 of our 4 partners that are with us today are from South Florida. I'm Eric Haas, Director of Haute Residence. I want to introduce the all-star panelists that we have today. A very international mix as well. I like the flair today. Even though all 3 of the 4 are from Florida, I feel like everyone's kind of international as well. So let me go and introduce the guests. First of all, we have Daniel Tzinker, who's been a top agent in South Florida and also a global agent as well, founder of Super Luxury Group. I feel like a serial entrepreneur. I know that you have a lot of your hands in a lot of different entrepreneurial opportunities. And Daniel, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to your insight into what's going on with the market, not only here, but also globally, because I know you do a lot of international business as well. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We also have with us today Dan Hechtkopf. I want to make sure it's hard to write your name, Dan, but it's easy to say it, right? Hechtkopf.
Oh, it's horrible. Hechtkopf. You got it.
What kind of name is that, dude?
Some German, Russian in there, something like that. Polish, I hear.
All right. Haas is rabbit in Germany, so I'm part German.
My kids are going to hate me. Yeah.
But it's real hard to spell your name. Like I got a few bounce backs on email trying to spell it.
I know.
But I got it now.
Welcome to my life. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Dan, of course, is with Elliman. You've been a top performer for over a decade as well down here in South Florida with Elliman. I know you're also originally from Virginia Beach and Delaware, the Blue Hens. I'm from, of course, the Mid-Atlantic area over there in the DC Metro. Went to Radford University. We've talked about this. We've talked a million times. I haven't met you in person. I feel like I've met you in person before, but
we have for sure.
We were trying to get you out on Monday to our event, or Tuesday, but we'll get you out next time.
For sure.
Magnus was there. Magnus had a good time. We'll definitely get you out again, but definitely looking forward to your insight. I know you've been a top performer here, and a lot of crazy stuff going on in a good way down here in South Florida with the market changing day by day. And I feel like everyone in America is down here right now as well. So at least to the Northeast coast is down here, that's for sure.
They are, for sure.
We also have with us Magnus Jennemyr. Magnus has been with us for many years, the international man of mystery. Magnus, of course, as you can see by the clocks in the background, Magnus with Engel & Volkers runs the Coconut Grove branch, but he's also Mr. Worldwide, in addition to Florida. Besides Pitbull, there's Magnus. How are you, Magnus?
Thank you. I'm honored to be part of the panel. Obviously, there's a lot of giants on the panel here. Dan is a heavy hitter, and Daniel is another one. I haven't had the opportunity to get to know Anne-Britt, but judging from
introducing her next.
I think she might be from my part of the world.
We're introducing her next. But you already pretty much did a great intro. I don't even know if I have to say anything.
There you go.
Thank you, Magnus. Anne-Britt is also with us, Anne-Britt Østlund, who has been with us before on the panel recently, but we'd love to get a new update on Telluride. Telluride was hot, red hot. And of course, I'm sure it's still red hot. It was more of an inventory issue previously. So we look forward to the updates on everything, and hopefully inventory is picked up a little bit where that meets up with the demand, because it sounds like the demand previously was a lot more than the inventory. So thanks again for joining us, Anne-Britt. We look forward to also, of course, the founder of Mountain Rose Realty and one of the heavy hitters and the only partner right now from the West Coast that's on with us. So 3 East Coast, South Florida, and then we're going to gang up on you, Anne-Britt. So, and you're the only female, one female from the West Coast.
Hey, man, that's okay. I'm good with that. Yeah. So, yeah. I've got the Norwegian background here. My mom was born and raised, so you're right, an international group here for sure, even though we're in the United States.
And that's not a virtual background. You're on the go, making things happen right now over in Telluride. I know it's a large area you got to cover through the mountain roads there, and it looks like you have a nice SUV that gets you through.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. I had a premature senior moment with my time zone conversions, and that's, being in the second home market, I deal with time zones all the time. I don't
I'd rather have the SUV than one of those virtual backgrounds. It's perfect. You make it real.
There you go. This is the
keeping
real
it real.
deal. This is the
It looks
real.
like she's the only one working.
Dan was going to take a picture on the beach. Well, he actually, it's virtual. He's literally lying on the beach right now, but it's virtual, so it looks like he's in his office.
I
Right,
don't,
Dan?
even have, I don't have pants on right now, guys. Just saying.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and being on the go. We really appreciate it. We'll come back over to you. We're going to start with Daniel Tzinker first, back over in South Florida. I know Daniel's background is real and not virtual, right? That's for sure. That's a real background. There we go.
I had to show
That's great. That's great.
Took a while to make sure for the black pants.
That looks like a very comfortable chair that you're in there. That's for sure.
One of a kind.
So,
Haute Residence.
awesome. The Emperor's chair. So Daniel, tell us a little bit more about what's going on at South Florida. I know it's been a little crazy recently. It seems like the condo market's picked up a lot, and everyone seems to be moving down here from the Northeast. How's everything been going here in March, and what do you foresee moving forward with Corona and everything opening up?
I think my wife in the recent hour, we were setting up this Zoom. She said, can you please not to mention that every New Yorker moved here in LA, be more like specific what you have done with the local people, because even local people in Miami start doing new moves that they haven't done. And by that, I mean, I have an owner of a penthouse that through the pandemic, after a few months, discovered that the pool is closed and he get tired of it, said, can you take me for a nice home? And I relocate the existing owner as a renter for a house in Venetian Islands. And fast forward, like it happened let's say 9 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing a new trend like as of months ago. I had people from Boca, Golden Beach, Biscayne Point, everywhere that you have a community of homes, they would come from my condos to look at the condos. I'm like, what happened? Like, I anticipate here people from Northeast, like Eric mentioned, LA. Why you coming? He said, somebody came door knock in our house and give us an offer that we couldn't resist. What's the number? And people will really give numbers that you, like only 6 months ago, they were like 30-40% less and they would sit on the market for ages. Now they come with this good news that somebody came and offered them a ridiculous amount of money, and now they force themselves to downgrade for some condo, which is like nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
This is my 2 cents of like what I observed that I didn't anticipate. Obviously, I have the New Yorker, the LA person that shopping here. I believe I have closing tomorrow with New Yorker musician, kind of celebrity. Probably it will be closed this weekend. The guy started from Venetian Island. He thought it's like cool, and we had the budget of like 5 million. And this inventory dried up. If I show you a screenshot from my phone, from 5 to 10, you have one option today. Would you believe like 5 to 10 million, like you have only one option? 5.9, one option.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You go for 10 to 15, you have to touch. Like you start seeing something at 20 plus. I don't think Dan Hechtkopf saw it last year and any of us could anticipate this. So, Anne-Britt, you're not supposed to know that, but Jeremy, I think it's a real struggle. So I adjust myself physically. I took myself from the south. I'm sitting here in Armani. I moved to Armani building, and I'm facing not south. I'm facing north, Golden Beach, Golden Shores, Bay Harbor Island, Bal Harbor, hustling do this door knocking now. This is my reality check. I don't know if I answered any of your question. It just was like.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, that actually is terrific because I think that answers the big question. So really what you're saying is people need to be more flexible with if they want a specific area like Venetian Islands, but there may not be anything there, they need to open up the horizon to other areas that might be a little further north that are still very similar and great areas because there's just not enough inventory right now in specific areas like that. But the great thing about South Florida is you have so many options, you know? I mean, like you said, Golden Beach, Yeah.
Absolutely, but it requires you stretch your mind and create new beaches as you move.
Mhm.
Before, like, yeah, Venetian Island, because you go to the edge water 2 minutes away, you go to the west, to the east, to the ocean, you connect to Sunset Harbor. Now you have no option. You have to create a new script. You know, like you go a little bit north, there's a point there, it's not far, you still go to the same school, you play with
What are some of the areas up north, as you go north, that you think there's more inventory as nice options for people if they're looking? You mentioned Golden Beach. Is there some other areas as you move that way?
Depend on the price category. If the person with no limited budget, you still can fit him in every area, like Palm Island, Hibiscus Island, all of those. But if the budget is strict from 5 to 7 or up to 10, you're climbing few neighborhood above. Then can elaborate maybe a little bit more. Biscayne Point, obviously find there from 5 to 10. Bay Harbor Island, you have from 5 to 10 few options. Golden Beach, the one not on the ocean but in the canal, you can find 5 to 10. Golden Shores, I'm sure all panelists experiencing stretch of new horizon for themselves and expose their client for the new product that was not so lucrative, but now became one because the inventory is gone. And if you are deal maker, you're not going to be sitting and waiting for a year or two until the inventory replenish, because people want to transact today. You go recreate yourself, bring opportunities from other neighborhoods.
Let's go over to the other Dan on the beach, Dan Hechtkopf, as he's tanning right now. You seeing some of the same things that Daniel's seeing in terms of his feedback?
Absolutely. It's been crazy. You know, he's right. None of us saw this coming, right? And I was saying it before, but before the pandemic, I think we were very close to the bottom of the market. And that was the condo market, housing market, you name it, right? And I saw it eventually going to go up. But then it was just like COVID hit, just dead stop for several months there. And then it was like during it, like Daniel was saying, every house got gobbled up. And that was crazy. And it's true. I mean, you can't get anything brand new on the market, like he was saying, really, like under that 5 million mark, even in that 5 to 10, it's just ridiculous right now. But then what happened was the condos became such a good deal. And then all of a sudden those are getting gobbled up, especially in areas like south of 5th, Sunset Harbor, there's no inventory, all the good areas, you know? So it's been insane. Whether it's a single family home or a condo right now, it's just on fire. I listed something literally a week ago, south of 5th under contract within 3 days. And then the problem is, it's like Daniel was saying, it's finding inventory for these buyers, right? And they do have to be flexible. They have to understand that there are other areas out there other than, let's say, the Venetian and even Palm and Hibiscus, right? I mean, they're going to have to go up to Normandy, go over the bridge even. Well, Coconut Grove, by the way, that inventory is gone, right? I mean, Magnus will tell you that. It's insane.
We're coming after you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah. I was lucky enough.
Door knocking today in the Coconut Grove. I have 3 clients. I'm like, no more, no mas, 3 to 5 million. Okay.
Actually, that's so funny. I just got a deal under contract in the 2 of them. I have one on the water. It was like the last waterfront lot in the Grove. Magnus, I'll tell you about that one later. 17th and Bayshore. And then you're right. Between 2 and 4 million, there is 0. And we actually were a 3rd backup in line, actually a 4th backup in line. And the first 3 fell through because they found something else. The main contract fell and we finally got it. But that was after 2 months.
Wow.
Pretty crazy what's going on right now. And I could talk for days, so you might want to move on, guys.
Want to talk? And you still got the floor.
What else? What should I talk about now?
Well, why don't we
There's plenty, believe me.
why don't we talk about the condo market compared to the single family home market in South Florida? What's going on?
Can I ask you a question? Because I said I'm going north because I try to stay east because my clients, I born in Russia, so I speak Russian and European. I have a lot of international. So I try to stick for the ocean, but I saw migration also on the west side of Miami Beach, like Bay Point, I did a few big rentals there. Bill Mead, I would like him to elaborate because he works maybe those area more than all of us, and I believe on this area will catch fire.
I think you're right, and I think it's once again that flexibility because the market on the beach is just there's nothing, no inventory. And now obviously everybody wants to be on Miami Beach, whether that's First Street all the way up to let's say 63rd Street or even Normandy and Biscayne Point. There's really not great inventory. So now people are going over the bridge, like you said. Bay Point, I love, great community by the way, one of the only gated, actual secure neighborhoods we have. But Belmead, Morningside, even Miami Shores, I have tons of clients now that are trying to get over there because you get a little bit more for your money. But those prices are creeping up so fast too. It's pretty insane. So yeah, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter where you're going right now. I mean, it's overflow everywhere.
Where are you finding your buyers coming from? Northeast, anywhere else that's a little different than normal?
You know, I have them from everywhere. I think I have a lot of buyers that already moved down from the Northeast or were already vacationing here or had a smaller condo. And now what happened is they've, most of them have actually upgraded. Whether it's a house or a bigger condo. The larger condos over 2,000 square feet, that side of the market has definitely taken off big time. It doesn't matter where you are on the beach. Something larger than 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom plus is just on fire. And then what's going to happen is, what I've seen also is, a lot of these transplants, New York, LA, whatever, they have to come here and they have to actually set a residency here, right? So what's happening is, I just sold a place, great place in the Murano Grande. It's only about 1,600 square foot, 2-bedroom, but somebody needed that location, that address of Miami Beach or Miami, right? So that's what's happening now too. You see the smaller units now being purchased because somebody needs an address, right? And they can't find a house, they can't find a big condo, and they have to settle for something right now, and then they'll move on to a house that's being built or whatever. So it's pretty crazy.
Awesome. Crazy in a good way, I guess, right? Obviously business is good, so
I
just
have
need more
a
inventory.
lot of diaper money right now. It's good though. But yes.
Yeah. Now over to Coconut Grove, where it's more, and Magnus, I know you do a lot of downtown stuff too, which is kind of a little different than some of the, I know you go everywhere, but tell us a little bit more about jumping on top of the comments that Daniel and Dan made with regard to inventory and what's going on specifically at Coconut Grove downtown. And are you seeing some of the same things that they're talking about on the beach?
I mean, we're living in a different time at the moment. I agree with Dan and Daniel, of course, 100% on the inventory. Miami was a bubble before. We're in a bubble within the bubble. Mm-hmm. We have never seen anything like this before, especially with, you know, it used to be flight capital coming into Miami. Now it's flight capital, but in a different way because of, you know, the tax rates. Obviously, pandemic has everything to do with it, but you know, you're looking at mansion taxes in New York, salt taxes in New York. You have corporate taxes and corporate reform in California. Corporate rates are 9% in California. They're 4.5% in Florida. It's a no-brainer that people would come down here. The problem is that everyone is coming en masse, and it's saturating the market at speeds that we could never predict. So just for the Grove market, I mean, actually, I'm going to segue back to the Grove market. I'm going to talk to what Dan said as well on the Miami Beach market. We have, you know, the artists and Ritz-Carlton and, you know, God knows all the buildings that are coming up there. They've seen $750 million in sales in the first quarter. It's ridiculous. Wow. And it's across every asset class. It's across every price point. So that obviously transcends to market. You know, you mentioned about schools before. Coconut Grove is known to have some of the best schools in, not just in the state or the county, but in the country. And so you do get what Douglas Elliman had in an article a few years ago, the Birkenstocks to billionaires, but it's less Birkenstocks, there's more billionaires. And then that is obviously creating a problem on the inventory. We have practically no single family homes left. Everything is 3-4 offers on a property. You get buyers being despondent because they don't get in there, and they're trying, and there's no deals to be had. But there's deals to be had if you looking at buying on top of the market, and then obviously if you're not flipping it, you're going to be on top in the next 5 to 8 years anyway, if you're looking at on the long term. And I think that's really what you have to consider. Long is strong right now. You might be buying at a higher price and renting at a higher price, everything going at price or above price with backup offers and everything else. I personally seeing the main inventory that we have is off market. Mm-hmm. That's the only opportunity we really have right now. And we've been lucky because we've been organically growing the off market. And we're seeing being able to present things that not necessarily on the market. It makes both buyers sell a little bit more comfortable. It doesn't change the price point. It's still going to sell at the asking price or above, and it's likely that it's going to get a backup offer as well. Yeah. The condo market in just the Grove is it's very low density compared to Brickell and downtown and even Miami Beach, and we only have so many Class A apartment buildings or condo buildings. Park Grove, Grand Bay, Grosvenor, it's practically gone. People were selling at $1 million under purchase price, in 2020.
Oh.
Now I mean, people wish they would have been waiting, but hindsight is 2020, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of, we're seeing the same thing. I just wanted to give some advice to if there's any agents out there. We're all very lucky right now to work with buyers. But if you don't have listings, come 6 months from now, you're going to be out of business.
And Coconut Grove seems like it's having a resurgence. I know in the last couple of years, whenever I go over there, it seems like more and more people are going there now. And I know Mr. C's is there. That's a great place. I went over there, but it looks like Coconut Grove is bouncing back strong, not just from real estate, but also retail business and restaurants. And it looks like it's
I mean, it has been a stabilization. I wouldn't say resurgence. Coconut Grove has always gone through different renaissances. During in the 80s, it had the highest retail in Miami-Dade County, and then in the 90s, it had a bit of a dip, and it became Coney Island versus. No disrespect to Coney Island, but it was obviously what it's now becoming is a little bit more of a Hamptons, and you have more of a pedestrian crowd. We have really good schools. It's easy access. It's a central point to anywhere you go in Miami. You're close to the airport. You're 15 minutes from everywhere. So it becomes very compelling for everyone to, seek domicile in the Grove. Yeah. I wish they were going a little bit further north.
The Grove is very unique. I feel like it's different than any other area down here in South Beach. It's kind of like a little relaxed area on its own. The greenery and the great restaurants.
You get the spring breakers.
Yeah, it's very relaxed. You can wear your sandals and have a fun day and just chill. It's very chill. But it's very, yeah, it's quiet, but it's fun at the same time, but very different than I think other neighborhoods in Miami, for sure. And also you actually hit the nail on the head. It is exactly 15 minutes from everywhere. Doesn't matter where you go, it's 15 minutes from Coconut Grove.
15 minutes.
Yeah. So, all right, well, we'll come back over to you, Magnus. Let's go over to Anne-Britt. Anne-Britt on the go over there, over in Colorado. Hopefully you're still with us.
I'm here.
We're not boring you with all this East Coast stuff.
No, wait, man. We actually get a lot of our clients from Florida, so it's very fascinating to listen to what's going on over there. So,
how's your tan? How's your tan better than all of ours? That's the question. We're in Florida. You're in Colorado. You got a better tan than us. What's up?
Colorado, 360 days of sunshine. They say where I'm at. It's
That's
crazy.
From skiing, right? You get tan skiing out there, don't you?
Can you see the goggle marks? Anyway, and the mask right here.
How's the weather been? I know it was, you guys were getting snow recently, but how's it been this last week?
Today is beautiful, but we've been getting snow all week, which is great because it's been beautiful. So we needed the snow.
You don't mind the snow. You guys don't mind the snow because that actually brings more business for you guys.
Love, yeah, but it's I most of my clients, I always say, and I was talking to someone I was showing property to this morning, they come here for the skiing. They think they're buying for the skiing, and then they experience our summer, and then they're sold.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I feel like Colorado, a lot of people don't understand how amazing it is in the summertime. I've been out there in the summer, so I know it's just clean air. It's perfect weather. There's so much to do, and it's just relaxing. It's just clean, especially with Corona. It's nice to be in a clean area. But I think that it's just gorgeous. I think that people are starting to figure that out now, though, more and more.
They are. So yeah, it's interesting. So it's interesting to hear you guys were in a slump before this because we weren't. Everything was long before March, whatever, 1 year ago, pretty much last week or this week. But then I printed out a few quick figures just in our county, our gross sales volume from over last year, 94% up.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
even with the inventory problems, you're up that much.
Well, that cleared out the inventory.
Yeah. So now there's an inventory problem.
Now there's an inventory problem.
So what's your plan this year? What's the plan? What's the plan?
So it's kind of the same as Magnus was saying. It's off market. I'm actively pursuing properties of people who've owned from 5 to 7 years back and are ready to upsize or downsize because that's what we're starting to see. Hey, I've got this condo, but now I'm ready for a home. Or a lot of times we in the resort community, and I'm sure you guys see the same with the beach side, they've owned in the mountains for a while and then they're ready to move to the beach. So I'm actively contacting people looking for something for my buyers because right now we do have lower prices, it sounds like, than the Dan's at least, but our average home is 4.1 million right now. We only have 53 properties on the market. Oh, and I did want to mention Tom Cruise did put his property on the market if anybody's interested.
Well, Tom Cruise, I mean,
39 and
that guy's ageless. That guy's ageless.
Yeah, he does. I haven't seen him in a while, but 320. So it's a pretty special spot right on the Mesa overlook
right?
area. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So our county average. So like you were saying, Eric, before we got started, I deal with primarily the mountain community, but then county we have a whole diverse situation going, which is what I'm heading out to talk to a listing. Actually, we're doing a photo shoot today, but even our county average is at 1.4 million now, which is it's crazy, and that's up over 25% as well. So a little bit better inventory out in the county, but still is going away quickly.
So you're doing some of the same things that Dan and Daniel and Magnus were speaking of, in that you're expanding your geography a little bit and going a little further than you might normally go because of the inventory?
Yeah, absolutely. Type of thing, talking to my clients, do you really need to walk to downtown Telluride. What if you had to drive a half an hour, but you're still in the mountains and you have these amazing views, and you have the elbow room that a lot of people are looking for still. So we do have that opportunity for a lot of people here, but it gets rugged fast here.
Now, Daniel called it going north. So what would you call it? Going down the mountain?
There, yeah.
So you're going south, or you're going like west, east, or just down the mountain? I mean, what is it?
It's directions, but west is a big one for us. Yeah.
But I guess everyone knows Telluride's obviously an international, internationally known. So everyone knows it as Telluride. Then it's the suburban areas outside of that same county, but people may not know it as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right now,
Yeah, because I know Telluride's been voted. I know last year a lot of people were voting it the hottest of all those ski resorts on the West Coast.
That's
right.
Time.
What's the reason for that?
You know, I think a lot of it is its uniqueness, because we're not easy to get to. We are not 15 minutes from anywhere. Very much you're here, you feel like you're in the mountains, you know, and you got to want it. You got to want to get here. And once you're here, most people don't want to leave.
Yeah.
It's absolutely iconic. It really is. So
awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I'm for one is jealous for
come visit.
and skiing and everything. So
Yeah, I have worked a lot.
Yeah, Magnus is a skier. Magnus, you ski a lot, right?
I used to, but yes, I don't have a chance anymore. You know, it's too much real estate in Miami.
But
I prefer that a buyer asks to buy in Florida, because he gives us more options, not just Miami.
That's a good call. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting you said that, Anne-Britt. It's interesting you said that with the beaches and the mountains. I think you're right. A lot of people buy a beach house and a mountain house. Like really where we are, a lot of them are go over your way, Vail, Aspen, Telluride, or sometimes even North Carolina, the mountains and summer house, because you go to the cooler weather, and they do a lot of the summertime retreats there too. You know, they go through the summer, not the winter, with the cooler weather in the mountains. You know.
Yeah. Arizona is huge for us here. We get our what I call seasonal residents who come up to escape the heat, and then Florida is another one for sure. So let's talk referrals. I'm sure you've got someone who's ready to move to the mountains.
Absolutely. And then, are you seeing a lot of the people from Silicon Valley? I know we talked a little. You're from Northern Cali. I know we talked a little bit about this offline. It seems like there's a big influx to other areas all across the West Coast of these people that now, because they're working from home, not only this year but now forever. For a lot of these people, they're able to work remotely, and they like safe havens like where you are. Are you seeing a lot of interest from that Northern California area? Yeah,
California didn't used to be a very big spot for us. It was mostly Arizona, Texas, a little bit of the east, northeast, and then Florida has always been big. But all of a sudden, California is probably our biggest sources right now for exactly that. I'm working with a client who's exactly that. You know, I went online. My company realized I can stay online. I'm ready to live in Telluride and work there. So you know, I would say that my business is shifting a lot from second homeowners to people who are trying to move here, which that's a new thing for sure, like full time, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Back over to Daniel and the Emperor's Throne over there in South Florida. Daniel, question for you, because I know you do a lot of international business and you have a lot of international contacts. And the international market probably for real estate has been a little slower because of travel concerns. What do you foresee moving forward with the international business for the next year, 2 years, timeline-wise? Do you think that's going to pick up, and when?
I want to touch on the numbers because Anne-Britt said that they have 90% over year sales.
94.
94. I have here, I don't know if you can see it, but we have in Miami-Dade single family homes over 1 million, increase of 136%.
Oh, you got me.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
That's year to year?
I just want to inspire you. No, it's not a competition with both. And Miami condos over 1 million, 111%. And
Wow.
just like to be techie, the available listing dropped 41% on the homes.
Yeah.
So we better start prepare those hands to work. This kind of action, door knocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm actively looking to hire people to door knock because I don't think we're gonna catch up on inventory with listings. I think business will shift, especially on the homes with this high demand. It's not gonna be like anymore like listing presentation. By the time you complete listing presentation, you leave the door. There is no Dan and Magnus come after me. There is a real guy from Telluride or LA coming with the check.
True.
So you
Yeah.
better door knock, make commitment, shake hand commitment, napkin commitment, any commitment that what person will take, and go attack your database and connect them to the potential opportunity.
Agreed.
As we speak here, I'm receiving a text from a neighbor of mine. He said, I'm having something in Venetian Island. It's gonna be 6.7, 10,500 square foot. I'm texting it for a guy who asked me if you have anything on the Venetian Island. He said, as long as it faces west, I'm preparing the full asking price.
There you go.
This is
That's
happening.
cool.
And
I also think what you got to remember is that buyers and sellers are getting more savvy as well. They don't necessarily need us. We definitely we need them more than they need us at this point, because with everything with Zillow and all the other platforms out there, it's pretty easy to find the information and for buyers to go straight to the seller.
Haute Residence, man. Haute
Huh?
Residence. Forget Zillow. Haute Residence. Come on.
Zillow is quite annoying. I received five links.
Zillow and other platforms.
Realtors.com, 5 links today received that they want to see in Coconut Grove in Magnus area. All of them are outdated. All of them are contract. It's not
So inaccurate.
nothing.
We have
Oh, that's Zillow?
But
Yeah.
what I would like to take Magnus' comment about the savviness of the buyer and the seller. The buyers are so savvy that I will take this as a advice for a young real estate agent who wants to become a good agent, that he focus on a very narrow area, because we just spoke with Dan about apogee. If, for example, a guy will come to you, Eric, and gonna say, Eric, I heard you out living. I would like to buy something. How much 2-bedroom go for an apogee? If you're gonna say, let me figure it out, you're already fired, because me and Dan will say, there is no 2-bedroom in apogee. It starts from 3-bedroom.
Three plus.
3+. This is an example of like, they're so savvy. If you don't know, like the OO line in Armani Casa where I'm sitting is the best line, and it's growing as long as you go higher, and it's going from 3,200 square foot, you're out.
Yeah, you definitely have to show your expertise.
Yeah.
The buyers.
Buyer.
I feel,
Mhm.
I feel like consumers are looking more for the top agents now, as opposed to working with their friend, because it's
Yes.
an interesting time now where you can't mess around. You really need someone who knows their stuff. Like you guys said, the stuff online is not accurate. You really want an agent that you can trust, that's honest, and that's a top person. So I think we're seeing that the top agents are getting more and more business, but it's harder for maybe people that aren't top agents to be right now with today's climate. Dan Hechtkopf, are you seeing some of the same stuff?
Yeah, you're probably right about that. And you know, it's funny. I have these New Yorkers coming down here, like you guys are talking about, these savvy buyers, right? And they're on Zillow and Trulia and every Haute Residence, sorry. And they're, you know, and they're they send me these listings. Why didn't you send me this? It says it's active. I'm like, because I'm friends with the agent or the owner. It sold 3 months ago. It's not on the market. And then they're like, okay. Some of them, you know, once again, these New Yorkers or people not from Miami, right? That are like, go. They're like, they almost have to do things on their own, right?
Yeah, they do. You're right about that.
Right. So then I've had them start calling. Yeah, I've had them start call on their own. You know, they're like, okay, we trust you. And then what do? They call up the listings, right? And either get stuck with the lead agent, you know, because it's a lead activated kind of website, right? Lead driven. And they get an agent, just like Daniel was saying, where they're like, hey, what's the deal with this house? And they're like, oh, let me find out, you know, because it's not the right agent. Or they actually get a hold of the real agent and they're like, no, we sold that like a year ago. So as savvy as they want to be, I think they always will need our help a little bit, but I've dealt with that and they are smart. Don't get me wrong. They'll look at Zilbert's site and see exactly what is sold in the last year in a building and the price per square foot. With New Yorkers, which is interesting, or people up north, let's say, they're very savvy with the price per square foot of a unit or a building, right? So that is a pressure point for them. And luckily for us right now, everything is so cheap, price per square foot, but that's what they look at. They'll ask you immediately, what's the price per square foot? And if you don't know it right there, you're kind of hurting yourself, right? So I think that's something some of us have been doing it for years, but I think that's a new thing for a lot of agents. And if you don't know that, it's definitely hurting your ability here.
I think then what's going to be happening for top agent Magnus, and I think it's going to be also more tight collaboration between the top agent.
Agreed.
Already. Yep.
It's already happening, but like maybe it's tougher on the top of the top, like collaborate, but I think everybody will collaborate more tightly, like because I wish to know, like, from Dan and receive email from him on a weekly basis, from Magnus, and what's your best price listing? Whoever gonna expose me for the product in front of my face, this is the product that I will match, and probably they will anticipate from me the same. Like, Dan would like to know that I'm gonna reduce the W penthouse price shortly.
Mm-hmm.
I just did it, like, and he would like to know it first.
Well, you know what? That's a great point, and that's our service to our buyers, right? Is having that inside scoop and being connected with like-minded people like us on this chat right here, where that's the value they're going to get. That's the difference between us and other agents right now. It's having that inner circle kind of camaraderie with other top agents, right? That's a huge deal right now.
Thank you, Haute Living, for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting us together.
Daniel, you're number one today. You're number one today.
Eric, I think we should do it twice a week.
Magnus talking about Zillow. Forget Magnus. Magnus is out.
I think
I'm out of here.
Haute Residence all the way. Okay.
I'm kidding. So Anne-Britt, are you seeing some of the same things over in your area that we're talking about for South Florida with regard to Zillow not being accurate and some of the same stuff?
Yeah, so and I think the biggest thing for us is we have a whole bunch of condo tells, is what we call them over here. So very inexpensive on the sticker price, but of course it's 100% service, and the HOA fees are $5,000 a month, and that's, so I'm getting a lot of buyers thinking they can get in at $800,000, and then they're in for a surprise. So they're seeing this on Zillow and Trulia and whatnot. But one of the things, I call myself a lifestyle real estate agent, and one of the things that I feel like I offer my clients is very intimate knowledge of what it's like to live here. What, hey, what are you into? Are you into painting? Are you into hiking? Are you into mountain biking? Are you into skiing? Do you have children? Are you into arts? I can help somebody understand where it is that they would fit in best. And that's not something you can get from Zillow or even the internet, really. Talking to a real person who's experienced it, who's raising a family here, who lives here. It's, boots on the ground, if you will. And yeah. I find that more valuable than anything they can find on the internet. The other thing, walking through a home and walking them through it, either FaceTime or videoing it and talking to them via Zoom, while they're in wherever. It doesn't matter.
Well, I agree with Anne-Britt on that for sure, but that's what I said before. You have to be the proverbial expert and concierge to the buyers for everything. You can't just know about real estate. You got to know about everything surrounding real estate. And where are you going to put your kids to school? What are you doing? What are you working with? What is your profession? Where do you fit in?
Hey guys, I hate to cut this off. You guys are going to kill me, but we unfortunately we have a 5 o'clock webinar that's starting right now, and I apologize because normally we go a whole hour, but I just got the warning sign that we're getting cut off. So, but you guys have been amazing. I almost didn't even have to be here. You guys were all talking to each other. I should have cut myself out. But Daniel, Dan, Magnus, Anne-Britt, thank you so much. I'd love to have you guys on again really soon. We've been on Facebook Live, Instagram, Zoom. I'm Eric Haas, director. You guys are amazing. We'll download this. We'll send you guys all an email, the full video. And we definitely want to have you guys on again really soon to continue a part 2, because I feel like we have a lot more to talk about and we didn't get a chance to finish. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everything.
Thanks,
And looking forward to seeing you guys in person as well very soon. Thanks again for having us on and for being on with us.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
everyone.
Guys.